So this is a demonstration of an end-to-end integration. So this is primarily what the alpha is trying to try to achieve. So we've got Samvera, a depositor, depositing research data into Samvera. Here I've created a record. I've pre-populated it. I will just gloss over this now because this isn't the kind of main thing, but we've got a selection of files here, some images, some spreadsheets, some video as well, just to show you there's a selection in there. Description, the form for the metadata that's required for the data set is based on the canonical data model that underpins the research data shared service. One of the things that we've been working on the most at the minute in terms of Samvera is to make sure that we have this synchronization with the canonical data model, and to make sure that once we've got that, then we know that we can integrate further with other systems and software that are kind of working on this project. So some of the main stuff is here, like title, creators, rights and licenses. There's additional information down here, keywords, versioning, dates, all of which kind of have done to appropriate standards, and that's all in the canonical data model. We're not using DOIs at present, but of course DOIs would be minted within Samvera based on an institution's DOI minting deal with DataSite. So I've selected all of this. As you can see, we're trying to make the metadata available extensive, kind of common. I would say this is aspirational to a degree, but we want it in there. Typically datasets don't have all of this metadata yet, but we want to make sure that with Samvera that we have these options. It's particularly important when we're talking about related work here. We're trying to build this kind of vision of these sets of interrelated digital objects that comprise research, and therefore to move seamlessly between interlinked papers, data sets, software, and any other pieces that are relevant to a particular piece of research is really important. So having the ability to specify this is key. So you can see on the right hand side we've got a small checklist here, which in Samvera just lets you know that you've done all that you need to do as a depositor. I'm going to make this public. You can see a few other choices down here, some of which can be just kept restricted to the institution itself. Embargoes can be set depending on requirements for that particular data that supports papers that are themselves embargoed, and some other options. All of this are things that we're looking at. This is functionality that's come from the Willow version. This is programmable within the Samvera stack, so it's underpinned by Hirex, and we're looking to make sure that what we can do is change this based on what the users actually need it to do. But for now, we're just going to say save, and then so this is we're in a depositor mode at the minute. So that's what the researcher sees, and that's all they know is that they've done their bit, and then basically it will go to an admin person. So I'm just going to log in as an admin, see if it's remembered the right password. Nope, that's fine now. So I've done this a few times. I've memorized the passwords now. So I won't go into this in its entirety. I just want to show you the kind of the submission workflow, but you can see the admin has a much richer dashboard. We're looking at some metrics here. You can set up workflows, change the content within Samvera here as well. So people with admin privileges will be able to really customize the experience for users. All of the stuff that has to happen under the bonnet, we'll obviously take forward into a development roadmap as we go. For now, we're going to do review submissions. And we can see here that we've got something pending review, and this is what we posted. So an admin person will look through that work, make sure everything there that's needed to be. I'm going to, for the sake of brevity, I'm going to say that that's perfect. And here the admin has some control over the relationship between the data set and the depositor. So if it's not up to standards, it can be sent back to the depositor and changes can be requested. I'm going to approve this for the sake of argument. thinking about it. Okay, so this has been updated now, so we can just see that that's been approved, and so that's deposited, and we're just going to go over to. You might see on some of this there are some issues with kind of like the ranking of dates and stuff. These are all bugs that we've detected already, and we've got them into a defects board, and we're dealing with those as we go. So I'm just going to flick over. Took its time, although interestingly, Preservica did do its job quick. It just didn't show up very fast. So that's what we got here. So we're looking in Preservica at the minute, just to kind of show you what we just did. So we looked at. So we've got a completed ingest here, which happened at 3:17. So 8 files. So here you can see that the files have moved. Well, I'll show you what the files are, but this is Preservica running all of its checks on this pool. I'm sure you're very familiar with all of this. So this is just showing Preservica telling us that it's done what it's done, that it's received data, and it's done all the checks that have been set up on it. So what that actually looks like is, these are the files that we put in basically. So, and that did happen automatically, and it did happen quickly. It's just for some reason it's just taken time to actually show up today, but according to all of the time stamps, it happened promptly. So it's not very exciting to look at an end-to-end integration, I admit, but it's just important to show you that all the hard work that's been going on is to actually show something very simple and actually not very exciting, which is stuff happening automatically. So yeah, so I'm just going to hand the screen back. Tamsin, is that okay?
Yeah.
Who's next?